Listen up, all you fat internet nerds and humps. I'm going to listen to your dreams and I'm going to want to take a dump. I'm going to one day run this country like I'm Donald Trump. Make no mistake, I'm the worst person to hate. I've known since I was 8 that I was put on this earth to be great. With chalk on my hands and gangster raps on my wrist, I lay my back on the bench, 600 pounds is my lift. I pucker my lips and I give it a kiss. I'm here to make the world a better place to live. I could say that without a stutter, and I could say it without a lisp. This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project, brought to you by HowMuchYouBench.net, The Slingshot, and the only freaking strength magazine in the world, thepowermagazine.com. Now, don't adjust your TV sets or your YouTubes. If my face looks fat, it's because it is. I am bloated and I am loaded and I am ready to bench press 600 pounds at Jesse Burdick's gym, at CSA Gym, coming up this weekend, November the 7th. Gonna lay it all on the line. Gonna open up with 545 pounds. Then going to go to 578 pounds or 579, whatever the hell that kilo number is. And then we're going to go up to the dreaded and the infamous 600-pound bench. I'm outside today of the Slinger Mansion, and I'm inspired and motivated to start the Power Project once again. And don't worry, people out there, don't worry about my face. I will slim it back down for you in due time, but I wanted to be at the top of the weight class, the 275-pound weight class. I suffered an injury in training to my tricep and realized that it would be tough sledding to try to lose weight midway through my training, and decided midway through my training, not several days before the competition, I decided to stay up in body weight, decided to increase my body weight, decided to eat a lot of cheeseburgers and a lot of bullshit to get myself big and jacked and ready to rap and ready to hit a 600-pound bench. I'm excited. I'm fired up. We got a couple questions to get to. Question number one is, how do I program my bench press? And so question number one is, I don't really program my bench press. I've never been a big fan of laying stuff out for a long period of time. I've always liked to go by how I feel. However, more recently, I've had the assistance, I've had the programming expertise, if you will, of one Chad Wesley Smith. And Chad has given me a program to lead me into this competition, to assist me in the 600-pound bench. He has me stronger than ever, and I have him to thank for that. I really appreciate his help and his assistance. Now, with having said that, having kind of stated that I don't like to program, I don't really like to lay things out for too long, Chad would lay things out in 3-week blocks for me, 3 weeks of tough training, and then a deload. I know I said I hate deloads, but the way that Chad was programming these workouts for me, I needed a week to back off from this kind of training. He had me doing light workouts, medium workouts, and heavy workouts. Rotated. I would bench press twice a week, so those things would constantly revolve around and around and bring it around town. And as I was going through the process, I learned a lot about my own training. I learned a lot about my own body, but even while following a program, I'd look at the list, I'd look at the things that Chad had written out, and every once in a while I'd say, fuck Chad Wesley Smith, I'm gonna do my own shit my own way. And so on occasion I did that, and I think Chad would back me up on it. It's no offense to him at all, but unless he's there with you to actually, sorry about that. It's been a long time since I've done the Power Project, and I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode, but my brother just called me. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. We're talking about programming. So Chad Wesley Smith took over my programming for the bench press. He helped me out a lot. I did light workouts, medium workouts, heavy workouts. Light workout, maybe 60 to 70%. Medium workout, 70 to 80%. Heavy workout, 80 to 90%. And as I moved forward, as I got closer to the contest, those percentages would kind of increase a little bit as I got closer to the meet. The light day, I might do 4 to 6 reps. The medium day, I might do 3 to 4, 3 to 5 reps. On the heavy day, I might do 1 to 3 reps. So heavy, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, I'm getting confused myself. Heavy day, 1 to 3. Medium, maybe about 3 to 5. And then on the light day, it'd be like 4 to 6 reps. Obviously, the sets would change. With the heavier weights, on the heavier day, there would be less sets. On the medium day, we'd add a little bit more sets, maybe 3 sets, maybe 4 sets, maybe as many as 5 sets. On the light day, there would always be 4 or more sets, sometimes all the way up to about 6 or 8 sets. Now keep in mind, this is a contest prep phase of about 12 weeks or so. So the stuff that Chad recommends to other people may look drastically different depending on where they are in their training. But I suggest you check him out, Juggernaut Training Systems. Chad's a very smart individual, and I wish him the best of luck. He is competing out in Australia coming up, and look for huge things from him. Guy squats over 900 pounds, bench press is close to 600 pounds, and also deadlifts over 800 pounds. Just a nasty mofo when it comes to lifting. Anyway, so that's some of the ways that my bench press has been programmed lately. I bench twice a week. Now I should point out, I like to bring the weight down here, right underneath the breasticles. I like to drop the weight fast, and I like to try to throw the weight back up and kind of catch it at the top and then forcefully lock the weight out. The reason why I mention that is because that's not the way that I actually train. That's the way that I bench the most amount of weight. When I'm training, I actually just do a more standardized, a more controlled bench press. The reason for that is it's going to recruit more muscle fibers. Lifting with more control is also probably going to lead to less injuries. It's also just going to kind of activate the muscles a little bit more and make me in tune with where I need to push the hardest and stuff like that. And so I'm also, in addition to adding a little bit of muscle tension, so on and so forth, I'm also making the lift a little harder because I'm slowing it down, and it now becomes a momentumless bench press. I'm also, most of the time, utilizing a pretty long pause. A pretty long pause on the bottom of the bench press, 3 to 5 seconds typically, especially on those light and medium days. Now on the heavy days, and it's time to go for the gusto, it's time to go big or go home, I will then revert back to my normal form. When it's time to bench 535, my last training session, when it was time to bench 575, I used my normal technique, drop the weight, throw it, I pick my head up, I bring my shoulders in tight, and I try to chuck the weight as I'm driving my elbows outward as I'm getting close to the lockout. A little bit about technique, a little bit about form right here. I coil up my upper back as tight as I can. I arch my upper back. I don't worry about where my lower back is. My feet are placed underneath my knees. They're not out any further in front of me, and they're not back any further behind me. They are just underneath my knees. My legs are flexed tight. My butt is flexed tight. My butt is flexed to the point where sometimes my ass hurts after a bench press session. So the glutes are turned on. The quads are turned on glutes. How do you like that? Good Lord, my face. I know you guys are thinking that. Like, what the fuck happened to his face? I thought he was retired from powerlifting. No, motherfuckers, I'm coming out of retirement. That's the whole point. November 7th at Jesse Burdick's gym, I will bench press 600 pounds and then ride off into the sunset on some women. I mean, on some horses or something like that. Anyway, so that's typically some of the type of bench pressing that I do. Secondary movement, secondary barbell movement, just a fancy term for the assistance move, what comes next. I'd always do a close grip bench or a wide grip bench or a slingshot bench. I'd always do at least one of those three things, sometimes a little combination of all three, and have a little bit of a bench press marathon. I will tell you this, that people always talk about assistance exercise. People want to talk about tricep extensions and all these different movements and stuff. Those movements are not the heavy hitters for increasing strength on the bench press. Those are just supplemental exercises to help increase, if anything, if it does anything, it's going to help increase the size of the muscle. It's going to help to directly target the tricep area when you do a tricep extension. It may, to a certain point, help you lock out a bench press, especially if you visualize being kind of stuck in this area here, short of lockout, and you really think about driving out your bench presses and you visualize. From a mental standpoint, that can pay huge dividends. But is a tricep extension, can you go your whole bench pressing life without doing a set of tricep extensions? Sure you fucking could. Who cares about a tricep extension? We're talking about bench pressing, and in order to have a big bench press, you need to lay down the bench press and bench often. However, you can bench too much fairly easily, and so therefore you need exercises that don't involve a dumbbell all the time. There you have it. Dumbbell exercises, assistance movements are awesome because they're assistance movements and because they're not utilizing a barbell. Barbell movements are fantastic because they are barbell movements. Got another question here today for the Power Project, and I'll leave you with this. This will be the end of this for today. Somebody said, why do you compete? I compete because I like to put my ass on the line. And now, after building an empire, slingshot empire, that's what it fucking is, get used to it. After building up the slingshot and doing all the many different things that I do with my wife, my kids, my business ads, Power Magazine, the Powercast, Super Training Gym, all the different videos, all the different shit that I'm doing all the fucking time. I like to compete because I like to say, you know what? I can have a job. I can have a hot wife. I can have kids. I can be at my kid's baseball game. I could still make it to this. I could still make it to that. I could be at that family function. I could be at this fucking thing over here. I could go to that thing over there. And I can still get my ass to the gym to do the proper amount of training to hit up a 600-pound bench. I can still do the proper amount of training to still be able to squat and deadlift at least somewhat okay, to hang with some people. I'm no stand efforting by any means, but I kind of like to be able to watch my total increase. I like to watch my PRs in the gym. I like to continue to push the envelope in all aspects of my life. Now, I'm not doing a full power meet. Some of you might be asking, why are you doing bench only, Smelly? Well, just doing bench only just because I'm a pussy. Sorry to let you all down. My legs have been hurting really bad. I don't know what the deal is with that. Hopefully I can get them back on track to really come out of retirement and do a full power meet. And also my elbow, the elbow injury, a few other problems I've had along the way. Also having a hard time getting underneath the barbell, wedging myself underneath the bar has been just awful. So I decided to forego doing a full power meet about a month out from the contest. Anyway, hopefully I can get that situation under hand. But if I hit the 600-pound bench, it's pretty much it. But it might be a 2 or 3 year layoff before you see me back on the platform. Good Lord, look at that double chin. The double chin is taking over the shirt that's underneath here and stuff. I don't know what's going on. At least you can't see the forehead cleavage. That's under wraps for now. But doing a contest gives me goals. And it keeps me motivated. And it keeps me in check. When you become so driven by the numbers that you think about it all the time, you become what C.T. Fletcher refers to as an iron addict, or you become strung out on iron. You get so addicted to those numbers, and you really feel like you have no choice. You have no choice. It's not a choice that you're making anymore at this point. You have to get stronger. You have to get better. And therefore, you have to get your ass to the gym. And therefore, you have to be there for your teammates, and you have to push your teammates. You have to make sure your teammates are pushing you. Being positive and setting yourself up. Set yourself up for victory. Set yourself up for victory. Set yourself up to win. The only way you're going to be able to set yourself up to win is if you set some goals for yourself. You got to set goals for yourself. You have to be self-motivated. You have to have something inside here, or maybe it's over here, or maybe it's right here. You have to have some drive within yourself to get your ass to the gym and get your training done. You have to have some self-motivation. You also have to bring in a certain amount of intensity when it comes to your training. You can't just go in and work out when you're trying to train for a contest of some sort. You're trying to train for a competition. You're trying to do well in that competition. You can no longer go in the gym and just work out. You're going to have to work out very hard. You have to do some serious training in order to get yourself better, in order to make yourself better. And in the end, that's what this is all about. It's about self-improvement, making yourself better. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is to make sure that you're being positive. People go around all grumpy all the time, these grumpy ass moods and modes. Make sure that you're trying to be positive, spread positivity. That shit will come back on you. Trust me, it will. Have a smile on your face. That's a large face, isn't it? And that's an ugly ass smile. But I apologize for that. But spread positivity and stay strong in your life. Strength is never a weakness, and that is it from supertraining.tv and a power project. Later.